What is going on, guys? So last night was pretty good. We had some moves going on during late London session that ended up finishing out, and tonight's setups are going to be really easy. So we're not really looking at anything crazy when it comes to massive pullbacks. We are looking for straightaways. All right. So Euro USD, GBPUSD, USDJPY are all continuing in the directions that they broke out of. Mainly, if you look at the daily of Euro USD, you could see that we're still bearish, that we've been going over. I think it's going to drop down all the way to this low. But in the meantime, before it does that, we are going to see it drop down to at least here because it does match up a little bit past that trend line of the channel that we have going. And ultimately, I don't think it's going to do any sort of pullback. If it does, it's only going to be temporary. As you can see, there is no pattern. A lot of people, and here's a nugget for you guys that I think I may have already said, but I'll say it over again because it's the simplest shit ever. A lot of people saw this drop. They saw the big push up. They thought, hey, this might be setting up for a W formation. And a lot of people started buying right here. They thought they were going to go and break the high and continue up to the recent structure, but they were very fooled. And what ended up happening was if they don't immediately reverse within a few hours of setting that low, it's not a reversal, it's a continuation, because what they do is they'll consolidate, and they continue the drop. So that's what you're seeing right now is a continued drop down to at least this area, right? So at least this area, potentially more. And that's kind of what I'm banking on. I think it's going to actually go a little bit lower down to these areas, maybe beneath to this lower part of the supply or demand. And once it hits there, then we'll see some sort of drop, right? Because what we need to do is look for a reversal. And the best way to tell that a stop hunt happened is when we get a push out of the volatility bands very, very strong and giving us that ability to look for that selling point. Now, because we have not had that, that just tells me that we are going to see a big push down going into the end of Asian session, beginning of London, and then potentially looking for a pullback to either continue back down or set up for some sort of reversal pattern, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to just continue down, right? So look for sells on Euro USD. Now let's go to GBP USD. GBP USD is setting up similarly, I can't even say it, similarly, almost the same. It's like weird, I can't say it. But this bullish candle, this white bearish candle, closed beneath the close of these full candles. So just because it didn't break, well, it actually got is equal to that pin down here, that wick. But you can see it broke past it just a little bit, but that doesn't matter because a full candle closed beneath the full candles down here. So that's the direction. That's all we really need to know is we're looking for this thing to continue down. Now, where could that continuation lead to? Let's zoom out. Take a look. I think it's going to go down to the recent low that was set on October 4th. And because we are in an overall downtrend, that makes the most sense to me. I have no indications of this thing reversing. Everything's set down to give us the direction for a continued drop. So now we're just going to ride the wave, let it do its thing. It might not be the simplest like pull back here and then sell. It might just be one of those things that the volatility is very, very limited and it's going to continue down because we do have USD news at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So just look out for that because it's going to be potentially setting up for that big drop and then reversal, or it's going to just continue with the overall drop. My money is on it continuing the drop, but I guess we'll see come New York session tomorrow. And then we have USDJPY, which I have been saying to avoid this pair for the last, I mean, just look at how long this thing's been going. I've pretty much been saying don't touch USDJPY until we see some sort of easy connection. So last night, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a training here of how this kind of worked out. I said not to touch this pair until we had some sort of break. But if you look at this, you see we had a bullish wedge. And what happened? It was a straightaway shot. And it's going to continue that straightaway. Now let's take a look at the daily or the weekly. Let's go to the weekly. More so the daily, actually. Look at this. It's fractal on 3 time frames. You had the 1 hour. Now, equal highs, ascending price, liquidity trapped up top. What they're going to do, break away, just like you saw in the 1 hour, to the zone that I've had drawn up for the last month and a half, 2 months. right? And now let's take a look at this. Now let's go to the weekly. Look at this. It's not a bullish wedge, but it is an ascending triangle. And when they set up a formation here, and it has a solid price action with trend lines, they want to break out of it and work their way back to the high that was set back over in October last year, right? So now that we have that, after that happens, the next thing to look for is a potential reversal here. But looking at this TDI, I don't think we're going to see that. I think it's going to blow past it. And where is it going to go to? If you guys have the Fibonacci extension tool, you can probably guess better than me. I don't use it. I've never really used it. So my guess is that it's going to hit a new high, and I'll start noticing the pullbacks once it hits a specific zone or starts showing signs of weakness when it comes to the Japanese yen, or potentially like shark fins and then leading up to breaks of structure or consolidations. But I see this continuing up. So really be on the lookout for that, and don't take any sells, right? So you're not selling any of that. We're going to go until this thing hits the highs from last year, I believe. Was it? I'm already forgetting. Yeah. So these were set last year. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for. You're gonna be bullish on USDJPY. You're gonna be bearish on EURUSD. We're gonna be bearish on GBPUSD, and we're gonna have a fun time, guys. So take advantage of it. Let's see what happens going into New York session. If you guys catch some pips, let me know. If you guys want to join our pro chats on Discord, if you guys want to be part of our live analysis where we go over all the pairs that we see up top here and more, reach out, join the Discord. It's free, or reach out to our email. Everyone have a great night. Peace.